Hi, it's me again, Steve Krueger, down in my studio basement. Now, this is the second episode coming up on my ongoing, we'll call it an ongoing fall series of a lady picking apples. Now, if you're just tuning into this one and you haven't seen my original, my first episode, please go to that and that'll get you started. This is a long video, so away we go. All right, we're now approaching segment 2. Segment 1, we did the leaves and the sky. The second segment, which we're about to do, is I'm going to show you or demonstrate the barn and this meadow right here. So that's segment number 2. Now I got a little ahead of myself. Segment number 3, which isn't going to be, of course, in this segment, I'm going to demonstrate how to do the trees, lay in the water here, and do these background trees right here. So here we go. Segment number 2, the barn and the meadow. All right, it's time to paint the barn. We're gonna, as I said, we're gonna paint this red, but not too bright. So let me give you a tip. As I said, I'm trying to pass on as many tips as I can on this this demo. That's why this is turning out to be so long. But here, this is called liquid frisket or masking fluid. You can get this, go to my website on Dick Blick catalog. You can buy this at the Dick Blick catalog. I show you where to get that, all that good stuff. Now, what is this? This is a McDonald straw. Yes, I did have a Coke. I didn't steal it. And you'll notice it's cut to a point. So get yourself a McDonald straw. I like the McDonald straw. And cut it to a point. Like, let's see if I can see that point. That's how I'm going to make these slats right here. Now this is a resist. Masking fluid, once I get it on, I'll paint the barn red, let everything dry, and then peel the masking fluid off. And you'll have these little slats. So first of all, I'm going to put, let me show you how that looks. Okay. We'll make this I'm putting the masking fluid in, this is the hay loft window, how you get the hay up. So we'll paint that black. Or, I don't know what we'll do with this. Now, this will be hard to show you, but I'm going to go right down this line right here, this slat, and let me show you that. Okay, see, I don't know if you'll see that slat. That's the masking fluid. With this straw, you can get a real narrow, line, if that makes sense. Oops, I should have started over here, but now this is going to be where a slat is missing, so this is kind of wide here. And we'll do some more slats here. Just go right down. Okay, you get the idea. Okay, here we go. Let me show you this. You can see where the masking fluid is. And we're just going to do it. Lay in some plain water. Now I masked the handle to her basket along with this this apple right here. Oops. Okay, whoops, let me get, well, I don't have the red here in the kit. Well, let me move this over. Let's see if I can get this. There we go. Okay, how's that? Here we go. And And I'm coming in light. You can always let this dry and then paint in a little more red. So we'll just see how this, let's see, that's her little finger sticking out there. And I did masking fluid along the, oops, oh crap. Well, we can get rid of that. I did masking fluid along the little hillside here. Okay, now I'm picking up the board and I'm letting this run. Letting it run down and blotting just a little bit. Okay, this is really light. I'm gonna, oops, don't want that glare. We're gonna drop in some real red and let it run down. And see what we can get. Got a little buckle here on the paper. Okay, so when you come in heavy with watercolor like this, the dark red, it always dries a little bit lighter. So just remember that. Okay, that's kind of cool. Kind of neat. All right. I'm going to let this dry just a little bit. I'll be back. Okay, semi-dry. Let's see if we can get a bloom right here. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. I'm not going to pick it up. I want it to just run. Let me do another bloom right here. Okay, we'll let it dry some more. Okay, I don't like this barn. So we are going to use Fire Engine Red. To me, the barn's wimpy. And I don't like wimpy stuff. It's kind of almost pink. And so I'm dropping in water. Okay, here we go. Let me get this. Okay, here's Fire Engine Red. If we're going to have a red barn, darn it, we're going to have a red barn. Okay, I don't know, that just makes me smile. A nice red barn, but we're still going to make it kind of weather beaten. So let's see here. Okay, I'm tipping it up so everything runs down. Got my Viva paper. Okay, let's blot a little just for fun. Okay, there's a red barn. Now we'll let this dry a little bit and then we'll drop a bloom in and, you know, kind of get that weathered look. Okay, that's real dark there. And we'll do real dark there. Okay, I'll be back. All right, I'm going to peel away the masking fluid. You can use your finger, you can use an eraser. Let's get this up here. And sometimes I use my fingernail. Okay. All right, here's the slats. Now they're screaming at you, all this white, so we got to get rid of that, and I'll be back. Okay, I've got some cobalt blue here, and that's what I'm going to use for the shadow. If you put blue right over the red, that turns it kind of purple. And there's a lot of purple in the shadow. I a lot of times use purple in a shadow, so we're just kind of trying to make this pop here. So you get the idea. I'll be back. Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, I'm going to use a mixture of ultramarine blue and burnt sienna to get a real dark. And let me zoom in. This is going to be a slat that's kind of missing from the barn. This is just kind of make the barn pop a little bit. Okay, and then we got a slat here. So I'll keep doing that. I'll be back. All right, I'm spending a lot of time on this barn. I'm sorry, but these white slats are just kind of bugging me. So I'm just making them disappear, or I'm pushing them back by adding, by adding some more, red. And I'm just going to add some more red, but leave part of it white. I don't want to get into this handle of her basket. Okay, we'll let that dry. All right, I'm back. I got to wrap this barn up. So I'm blotting here to get back to the original red. And then I'm dropping in real red. So it's kind of like a reflection, maybe the sun bumping up, letting this stay kind of light. Then I'm going to put some hay in the hay loft here. And we'll call this barn quits. Okay, one last look. I'm bringing the white. This is a dry brush, and I'm bringing that slat out from under the red. Let's bring this slat and this slat. See how that's working? All right. Okay, one more time. Let's do a bloom here, and let's do a bloom there, just to get a little bit of weathered barn look. Okay, that is it on the barn. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, finally, we're finished with this barn. I put some brown, I think that's burnt sienna I put in. This warms up the barn by putting brown on the roof, and with watercolor, everything is backlit. And so this, I left this white. If you lost this white, you would, it loses its sparkle, I guess is the word. So always leave white when you're putting dark against dark. Leave a little bit of white. Otherwise, things just disappear. So I did the same here. and yellow ochre here for the hayloft, and a real dark up in the corner here, so you get contrast. Here's the bloom over here. This pushes the barn back and warms everything up. So on to the next. Let me get you just a real close up real quick. Yeah, I might get rid of that there. You know, you always come back, and knowing when to stop, that's the key. And we're stopping on the barn. Okay, I'm having a lot of fun doing this. Step by step, we're taking this. And that's the way watercolor is. It's a process. You start with this white piece of paper, scares the hell out of you, and you start bringing everything to life. And that's what I love about watercolor. Now, I did the hardest part, which was the leaves. In my mind, the hardest part was the leaves. Second hardest was the sky, the clouds. Third was the barn. Now, this is the fourth hardest right here. We can't make this foreground here too busy. We don't want to compete against the lady. What are we going to do back here? What are we going to do here? So right here is what we're going to do next. And away we go. All right, this is next. This is going to be a meadow or a field coming down. Now, I don't want whatever I paint in here to mix in with the dress. So I'm using, like I showed you, the masking fluid and the straw. Am I in the camera? Yeah. Laying in these rocks so that the meadow doesn't bleed into these rocks here. And using the point, this is very important right here, her dress. Let's see, just do that, bring it down. Like so. Now I've got to do the basket right here. And let's see her fingers. Okay, I laid this in kind of thick, so it's going to take a while to dry. And let's see, it's lunchtime, so I'll be back, and then we'll decide. I'll show you what we want to do with this meadow right here. Okay. Here we go. We're going to lay in the meadow. I put in a little orange also, just for fun. So I'm just doing the water coming down like so. Okay, a little bit of burnt sienna and the green gold. See what we can get. That's coming in pretty dark. Okay, let's see. Let's drop in a little orange. And bring that down like so. Now let's get some straight green. Now, as you can see, I'm laying that in real thick, and we're going to let it run. Up against the basket. All right, is that a little bit too dark? Let's drop in a little water. And this is just plain clean water. Well, it's kind of dirty water. But we'll run it like so. Now let's bring this down. And what do we want to do? Let's put in a little orange just for fun. We don't want this too dark, so I'm adding water. Don't want that splattering up. Okay. We're going to do the green gold right up against the basket. Now let's bring it down. I got to stay in the camera. Okay, I'm liking that. When that dries, that'll be kind of neat. Let's do something right here. Now let's run it over this spot right here, because we got to get contrast. Where's my brush? Now we're going to lay in some orange. And we're going to bring that down. Okay, are we liking that? Yeah, let's do some more blotting. Now let's do some burnt sienna right along here. We want something really dark. And we'll run that down. Okay, do I like this? Well, this is running. I gotta work fast here. Let's see. It's running into the barn here, so there we go. Okay, that's good. Now we need something dark. Just mixing some colors randomly. Let's let that run. And we'll drop in some dark here. Now I'm getting some green. Okay, what do we do? So, real light. We don't want anything too busy up against her dress. Okay, yeah, we'll lighten that up just a little bit, get some contrast. This is running into the barn, that's ticking me off. I'm adding a little orange here. Yeah, let's just okay, I'm liking that. And this real light up against the dress right here. Get some contrast. Okay, that's good. We've got some definition going on there. Now, what do I want to do? We'll just do green, kind of a greeny orange here. Up against the rocks. What are we going to do? Let's make a little path going up like so. Kind of let your eye. Yeah, I'm liking that. That comes down. That. This is too dark. Okay. Let's accentuate the path here. And we'll bring it out just a little bit. Real dark along the path. All right. Now I'm holding the board up and just letting things run. Okay, let's do something here. Again, knowing when to stop, knowing when to stop. Break it up just a little. Okay, do we like this? Well, let's add a little color. Just a little orange. Okay, gotta stop, gotta stop. Okay, stop, let it dry. All right, I'm inserting this this segment of the video because I forgot to explain how we got these rocks. So I'll be right back. All right, now I'm going to demonstrate how I got those little pebbles or those little rocks in the Meadow. Use masking fluid or liquid frisket. Use a straw. Dip your straw into the masking fluid and put it like so. Now, a couple years ago, I grabbed this out of the kitchen drawer and used this and got in a little trouble with my wife because, of course, I ruined this colander. So I'm going to put my head in front of the camera and blow this. You blow pretty hard, and depending on, well, you have to practice this, how high up you hold it, how close, depends, makes the drops bigger or smaller, but play around with that. So I'm going to put my head in front of the camera and blow. Well, I blew some off there. Let's, okay. Now, I practiced over here, but here's what I just did right here. And that's how you do it. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. You'll just have to practice, play around with that. That's a good tip. All right, here the droplets of the masking fluid are dry, and you can get a close look there. Now, I forgot to show you my palette on this. Let's see, I use green gold, that's that. Transparent yellow, burnt sienna. Some cadmium orange, and some yellow ochre. Now, I didn't use much yellow ochre. I should have used that. I like that color. I might use that on the next part. So here you have it, and I used the tip of the straw to make the grass effects up next to the barn. So away we go. Okay, I'm back. Let's do a bloom right here. See what happens. And we'll do a bloom here, and one here. I don't know if you can see that. Let me zoom in. Okay, the bloom's working there. It's working here. Drop a little water right there. And right here. That's working right there. This is working here. The bloom's coming along here. Okay, we're stopping. Okay, we got to get rid of this white. So I've got the red paint, and we are going to marry this trick is to marry the red up with the barn. So we've got to feather that in. Okay, let's see. Okay, what do you think? We'll let that dry, and that'll be it. I'll be back. All right, let's see what we got here. Everything's dry, and I'm I'm pulling up the masking fluid. Okay, these are too white here, these little grass things, so I'll color those to push them back. Let's see, we brought the grass up into the barn, you know, to pull the hill forward. So this is what we've got. Take this off from the dress. Okay, let's zero in. Now this white is really standing out, so I have to push all these rocks back. And I just wanted to show you, remember I dropped that bloom in, that little bit of water? See how you get kind of like a grass look here and right here. Okay, I will be right back. All right, I used masking fluid and the straw to mask in the gate right here, and to mask along her dress, we're going to do the meadow over here. Now, if you remember when I first drew this video out, this was kind of long, so I cut the paper shorter so that I could video a lot easier. So, if that makes sense. So, here we go. Let me show you, let me zero in. Now look at these rocks. They're busy, busy, busy. Now I'm not going to do all of them, but I just want to show, let's say you, let's get this over here so you can see. Okay, here's my palette, and let's say you don't really like some of the rocks. Let me show you how you can just disappear them. This rock up here, and we'll just disappear it, right like so. Let's see. I did a little pencil shadow here, but I think I can erase that. So let's say you want to accentuate one of the rocks. You can either use a pencil to do a shadow right here, or you can come along and see how that's making these little rocks, that's accentuating them. If you can see that, hopefully you can see that. So you can make a rock disappear. Let's make this one disappear. Bingo. So if this is too busy and you only want a couple of these rocks, you can make them go away. And that's just a little tip. We will let this masking fluid dry, and then we'll do, let's get back to here. And then we'll do the meadow over here, and then I might do some trees up here. We'll do trees up here, the rocks, and that's what we'll do to finish this off. So I'll have another segment after this. All right, let's get this background in here. This is kind of busy. We're not going to make this all that busy. So I'm going to use some of that yellow ochre. Let me get this over so you can see it. Okay, here we go. Just plain water. And And we're dropping in some burnt sienna and a little bit of yellow ochre. Okay, bring a little bit, is this in here? Yeah, bring a little bit of this green in. Oops. I want more green. Come on, come on, come on. Okay. And we've got the masking fluid in here. And we're getting a little bit of granulation. This green isn't coming up here. Let's do that. Okay, there we go. That's kind of dark. So we're just letting this run all the way down. Put this up against her dress. In the camera? Yep. Okay. And that's it. Let's pick up, time out. Let me show you that up close. Now back. Now we're going to run this up, see what happens. Got to stay in the camera here. And now we run it down. Sorry about that, I got to stay in the camera here. Now, I don't think we want another path. We don't want this over here. So, what are we going to do? We're going to drop in just a little orange. Mix that in. Let that now I'm laying this flat. Well, actually not. Let me get rid of this glare. Okay, there we go. Now, where's my paper towel? Got to dry this brush off. And we'll what do you think? What do you think? We're going to let this run again. I don't know how this is coming across on the camera. Yeah, we're getting, well, okay. Krueger, you got to know when to stop. We'll just drop in a few. Okay. That's good. Don't want this video to be too long. Okay, I'll be back. See where this is wet and this is dry, so we're getting a line right here. And I know I just love doing blooms, so let's do a bloom right, just plain water, right here. And right there. See if we can get anything going there. All right, now I'll be back. Okay, I'm back, and let me get this down a little bit, and let me zoom in. I'm not, this video's so long, I'm not going to go through all this grass, but I'm just painting it brown. See how that pushes the grass back? And with the with these rocks, I'm just painting them kind of just a little bit of gray. So that pushes the rocks back. So we're going to wrap this up. And before I close, I'm going to show you where I get my paint. So I'll be right back to wrap this up. We're coming to the end of episode 2. Now that's where I demonstrated the barn and the meadow. And I forgot to, tell you on the barn where I got the fire engine red. Now I was using quinacridone red rose for the barn, and I forgot to mention that. And that, I didn't like that color, so I went to fire engine red. Now to get to that, to find out where you get these 35 milliliter tubes, these are just great. They're not that expensive. And rather than getting these small little tubes where you just squeeze out a little because you don't want to use that much, you're real, what's the word, parsimonious on these little tubes, get yourself these big tubes. And you get them at, do search for Journey Art Stuff. And that, there used to be a company called Cheap Joe's Art Stuff. They went out of business, but Journey Art Stuff is carrying on with Cheap Joe's tradition. These are made in America. Let's see, and let's see, like this 35 milliliter is only $15. $15 for one of these, wherever it is, burnt sienna. So, and again, in closing, my palette on the Meadow, I forgot to mention that, was yellow ochre, transparent oxide yellow, cadmium orange, and I use this green gold quite a bit. So now I'm going to close out. I'll be back. All right, folks, we've come to the end of episode 2. Episode 1, we did the leaves, we did the sky. Episode 2, we had the barn. I kind of agonized over this barn, but we made it through. And then the meadow. Now, episode 3, I got ahead of myself. I've painted this in. I'll demonstrate that in the upcoming episode number 3. So, I hope everyone had as much fun as I did. Kind of learning as we go. So, see you folks on episode number 3. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day.